Good morning, Nigeria. A brand new day is here, bringing fresh opportunities, breaking stories, inspiring conversations, and everything you need to stay informed. From the headlines making waves to the issues shaping our nation and the world, we've got it all lined up. Welcome to S24 Morning Digest, where every morning begins with the news that matters. I am your host, Gloria Atta, and over the next hours, I'll be taking you through the top stories, insightful discussions, and everything you need to start your day informed and empowered. So grab your breakfast, settle in, and let's make this morning count. Our newspaper review is up next. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is S24 Morning Digest, your trusted breakfast program. The newspapers have set the agenda for today's conversations, and we are here to unpack the biggest stories making the front pages across the country. Let's take a look at the headlines grabbing attention this morning and what they could mean for Nigerians. Of course, I'll not be doing this alone. My colleague Abubakar Turaki is here with me. Good morning, Abubakar.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Alhamdulillah. Happy New Week.
Happy New Week. I trust you had a wonderful weekend.
Thank you so much. It was really mashallah.
All right. So let's quickly dive into it. And we'll be looking at our first newspaper, which is the Daily Trust newspaper. On the front page, it says Borno abduction, 87 days without our children, parents. 87 days is actually a long time for children to, remain in captivity and families to it's at this point it seems like they are even in mourning because there's a popular African adage that says it is better for your loved one to die so they are gone than for them to be missing, because your heart would never find peace. So let me just hear your thoughts on that too.
Politics. The same scenario that happened in Oyo, that was the same scenario that happened in Askira Uba in Borno State.
Yeah.
The same day. But what happened after the adoption of Oyo happened? We saw how Sheyi Makinde has been going up and down. We saw how Sheyi Makinde have been calling international organizations to rescue those people. We saw the protest staged in Lagos, in Oyo, in Abuja, and some part of the northern Nigeria. We saw that time when the presidency or when the federal government came up with the establishment of forest guard, security guard, deployment of additional division. At the tail end, they were rescued. Within 2 weeks, they were rescued from.
They stayed in captivity for about 54 days as well.
But they made a tremendous effort from them. But what happened? Why is it that if everything affected the northern part of the country, our so-called Arewa leaders unfold their arms? This is 3 months that this thing that happened in Askira Uba in Maiduguri. And these are the people that are even including teenagers, toddlers, and even young people that they don't even have sense that they are still very, very young. What is the government doing? What is the government of Babagana Umara Zulum is doing?
So that still means we are saying the same thing, because this is more of an issue of political will.
There is no political will
in the north cannot be measured side by side with the political will in the south west, with what we've seen with how proactive the state government in Oyo was.
Yeah, of course, we were praising Governor Zulum as one of the best governors, but it clearly indicated that his sluggish effort to rescue those people from that were adopted from Askira Uba is giving him a black ending, because he was. And we saw how he single-handedly anointed Mustafa Gubio, his commissioner of works. Is that the Borno state that you wanted to hand it over to your own people? What is exactly wrong with our northern politician? Where are we heading to? Where are we going to? Is this the northern Nigeria of the 1960s? Is this the northern Nigeria that a northerner will be adopted and killed and stay silent? This is a pure betrayal from the northern politician. And Nigerians are watching them, and Nigerians will call to hold them accountable, because they called for people to vote for them, and people voted for them. And it is expected them that they should do everything possible.
Yeah.
I believe by now if they really have that political will. Because whenever you will see and whenever they will say to us, we are not satisfied with what they are doing. Because leadership is the process of serving people. You are a public servant. You are not expected to sleep while your people have not sleep. You're not
Yeah.
expected to eat while your people are starving.
So there's another important part that we always forget, which is the psychological implications of
Mm.
this. So let's just dive into that.
There's psychological trauma
Yeah.
because those people that attended those government schools, I think they, with due respect, they came from an underprivileged family, and now they are now in the bush. Who is catering for their medication? Who is catering for their welfare? Who is catering for their basic needs? We saw the pictures how they are lying down on the forest in a very inhabitable manner. They are being exposed to venomous animals day in, day out. It is the rainy season.
Hmm.
Now, if it
Honestly, I
is
can't
raining,
even
if you are even
imagine.
under your own tubet, look at how you are feeling. Talk less of someone that is not even above the age of 18 years. Definitely, Nigerian government has failed to deliver its own mandate. And these are the people that in the nearest future you want them to be proud and to be patriotic of being Nigerians. I think we need to think outside the box. If we continue to do that, I think the problem of insecurity, Nigerian government may like it very, very difficult to address the problem of insecurity. I don't want to sound a northerner or I don't want to sound a southerner, but rather I want to sound as a patriotic Nigerian, someone that loves his own country. But it is obvious that the political difference that is happening between the northern and the southern protectorate, or between the northern and the southern part of the country, is becoming obvious. Even though we are firstly amalgamated in the 1914 by Lugard, I think it is high time for us to put the country in our heart, to put Nigeria in the center, and we should not try and treat anything with bias. We should try and treat anything with neutrality.
Most of the time when we have conversations, we would always say that as much as we point to the presidency would come out and say, we've given states because money, we've given them different allocations to handle problems that peculiar to them. And I just want to also refer back to the Oyo case. During the abductions, Governor Makinde was in the news of every single day, a lot of celebrities and a lot of people. While can you confirm if the Borno State government has made any statement, either once or repeatedly, concerning this, and also um, the level or the extent to which voices in northern Nigeria have spoken to issues around them?
Yeah, I recently saw the interview from Daily Trust. They were able to reach to the Commissioner of Education and Science and Innovation in Borno State. But what he said to them that this is a security matter, they should try and reach out to the security personnel, and from their own, they are trying their own effort in order to rescue that. But that is not enough.
Yes.
If these people came from the elite family, maybe from one of the politicians, maybe from one of the executive, even though most of their own children are not even living here in Nigeria, they are there in Europe, America, and even some part of the and some rest of the world. But you made mention of celebrities and even their own government have been doing that thing. Of course,
Yeah.
I quite agree with that. Yes, there are people know the value of human being. But now we have so-called and dubious celebrities, which they don't show everything. They only go live on TikTok, dancing and exposing some part of their own body. We know one popular celebrity in this in the northern part of this country, when he just had a kind of like a minor altercation with his own counterpart celebrity in the southern part of the country,
Yeah.
because he was accusing that person of going out to America, showcasing his own jacket with the names of Oyo children that were on kidnapped.
Yes.
While he was there, busy praising the movement of APC at the Harlem Chamber, beating his chest, saying that they are going to mobilize some huge amount of number for this government to continue ruling. Is this the northern Nigeria we are praying for? So these are the kind of celebrity we have. And how do you expect a society where you deprive the major number of the populace basic right, that is the education? What are you expecting from them? It is a shameful thing for us that when you wake up as a northerner, you don't even have voice.
So how best can we actually deal with this issue of abductions that has become a norm in Nigeria today?
Thank you. You made mention of the president has been always saying that he have been giving the state governors money. But remember, Nigeria is a federal country. And in a federalism, there is a clear separation of power and there is sometimes a clear fusion of power. And I remember in one of our last discussion, we made mention of residual leave, exclusive leaves, and even concurrent leaves. The reason why most of the times we are calling on the federal government, it is the duty of the federal government to provide security in the country and some support from the state and the local government. So that is why most of the times the federal government are the one getting most of the blow. Then what did you ask me? How best we can?
Avoid the continuous issues of abductions that we keep experiencing across the country. School
Yeah,
abductions.
the truth of the matter, Northern Nigeria has one of the most vast land. Like we have abundant
Landmarks,
landmarks,
yes.
and we are yet to at least harness and even use it. I think by now they should try and at least be allocating some projects so that we can continue to develop certain things. Because if you can remember, you can travel now from here to Niger State. You can go for almost, I think, more than 60 to 100 kilometers. You will see a vast landmark,
Yes, yes,
undeveloped landmark. And you know, these people, they're always using that place as their own hideout. They always want to go there so that they can at least have their own car and be terrorizing people. So if the government can at least channel more developmental and infrastructural projects, even though I'm not of the view of providing most of the infrastructural development, rather we are advocating for human capital development.
yes,
Let them establish schools, companies, factories, and even extend many like things that will bring development. And I believe if they can address also the problem of poverty, because according to Aristotle, I think poverty is the mother of all crime. So
mm,
these are one of some of the measures that will at least go a long way in the addressing that thing. And also, the citizen also have a role to play. We saw how our counterparts have been doing that, especially what Very Dagman have been doing. Now, what happened to the northern celebrities? If you see
yeah,
something, say something. Do all effort you can do in order to condemn in order to complement the effort by the government and condemn the effort by the terrorists, even by
yes,
raising your hand and pray and say, "Oh God, make my country governable." I think you have
yes,
contributed your quota as a Nigerian. Then just started with the responsibility to do that. If I could remember, I think in the Riyadh Salihin, they said that there is a greatest one of the way in order to make good in your own society, it can either change the narrative with your hand, you can either change the narrative with your actions, you can either change the narrative with your heart.
mm,
Changing the narrative with your hand is those that are in the position of authority. They may likely have the kind of like access to the wealth and access to the security personnel to order them to go and do this thing.
yes,
Change the narrative with your lips. Please, Boko Haram is what you are doing is unlawful, Quranically or biblically. You have did that with your own lips. Then the lowest part, which we are doing now, we are changing the narrative with calling on the people not to do that.
yes, you can
And
go
the
on.
least one is changing the narrative in your heart. Oh, this issue of kidnapping is totally not acceptable. Oh God, make this country safe. I think we have contributed our own quota because like a country is just like kind of like engine. Because engine before engine itself, it has to be the presence of engine oil,
Yes,
PMS, liver gear before motor move. So our country is a dilapidated country. I'm sorry to use that word, but it is high time for us to rebuild our country. We have the best mind. We have
yes,
the best brain. We have the
yes.
agile population. We have the youthful population. Do you know that by 2030, Nigeria will be the second largest, most populous country in the world?
Mm. You've made very, very salient points that indeed the issue of security is everyone's business. And until we come together to take up this issue like it affects everyone, we will not be going anywhere. We'll continue our newspaper review after this short break. Stay with us. Business and take up this issue across the we'll not be going anywhere. Reference when you hear the word journalism, what comes to mind? For many people, it's not just someone sitting in the studio reading the news. But journalism is much more than that. According to UNESCO, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization,
Journalism plays a vital role in society because it gives people accurate and reliable information to help them make informed decisions. In simple terms, journalism helps people understand what's happening around them and why it matters. So you may likely ask, how do journalists make sure the information they share is true? Research by the Reuters Institute for the Study of Journalism shows that the trust in the news depends on accuracy and transparency. That's why professional journalists don't just rush to publish stories just because they are trending. They take their time to check the facts. This process is called verification. It means speaking to different sources, checking official documents, and confirming information before posting it. Also, the Society of Professional Journalists, one of the world's leading journalism organizations, says journalists should seek the truth, report it fairly, and correct mistakes when they happen. That's why credible news organizations rely on multiple trusted sources instead of rumors on unverified social media posts. Think about it this way. If a video claims that the major incident has happened, a journalist won't report it immediately. They will first of all confirm the information with the police, emergency agencies, eyewitnesses, or other reliable sources. Only after the facts have been verified is the story published. And now, in today's digital world, where everyone can post information online, UNEXO says the spread of false information has made fact-checking more important than ever. That's one of the main reasons journalism remains valuable.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is S24 Morning Digest, and I've been having a very insightful conversation with my colleague, Abubakar Turaki. Thanks for staying with us.
Thank you, Ms. Gloria.
All right, so let's quickly move to our second discussion. We're still looking at the Daily Trust newspaper, and on the front page it says ADC faults ICPC result on PFIPC scandal. Now, this is a recurring decimal as well. This is one issue we've been talking about over the last few weeks. Let me hear your thoughts on this latest development.
Yeah, you see, we always appreciate democracy.
Yes.
Because democracy is the system of government that will allow the opposition and even the ruling party to continue to vent out their own opinion.
Yeah.
And we saw on Friday or on Thursday, when the chair of ICPC went to the president and submitted an interim report to the president. But based on what the way Nigerians reacted, the report actually sounded very, very biased in nature.
Yeah.
Because it was only able to address some certain faction of the report and of the scandal. They were able to exonerate most of the people that were working with the government, and which later Nigerians felt aggrieved that the report was not fully comprehensive. And that is why ADC now came out and they are calling on the ICPC to at least do something that is possible. And I quite agree with them based on what they said, because what Bolaji Abdullahi stated that it was just a kind of like a blame game from the presidency, because Adeyemi pointed out the likes of the chief of staff to the president and even the likes of the SGF.
Yes.
And there is a very, very important question which we are yet to hear from the presidency, who facilitated this, the office space to Adeyemi at the Federal Secretariat, who was able to at least incite Adeyemi budget in the 2026 appropriation. And after that, Adeyemi was also able to at least created another two fictitious agencies. That was FIFA and PIPA. And more that, they also went ahead and said that Adeyemi should also be prosecuted without any delay. A matter that is currently in the court, and now you are saying that the person should be prosecuted, and Adeyemi is yet to appear.
Exonerated yourself.
And you're exonerated yourself, and Adeyemi is yet to appear on any panel to at least hear from him. All what we are hearing from Adeyemi is hearsay, and the justice denied. Justice delay is justice denied, or justice fast track is justice denied. I don't know. I'm not a student of law, But the truth of the matter is the report was little bit not neutral, and it has become obvious that some agencies of government are now trying to dance to the tune of the executive, which is a setback to Nigeria's democracy. Because for the past 26 years, we have been enjoying an uninterrupted democracy. But if care is not taken, we don't think if the government of APC before the end of their tenure in 2023, in 2027, because we are going into another election. We don't know if ADC is going to win, SDP, PDP, or APC are going to retain at the power at all costs. Because remember, recently or soon they are going to have their own election, and I pray the ruling party is not going to interfere in the election. So this is my take on that. But I believe if the federal government will succumb to pressure from civil society organization, from journalists, from concerned Nigerians, and even celebrities, and even international and multinational organizations, they may likely give Adeyemi a fair hearing. But the report of the EICPC is not complete.
Well, we look forward to seeing how that will
Yeah,
pan
it's
out.
not complete.
But issues like this, what do they tell about public confidence in anti-corruption efforts? Do you think Nigerians at this point still have confidence in the ability or capacity right now of the government and all the anti-corruption agencies we have to tackle the issue of corruption? Because this is a big corruption case right now.
I doubt. I really, really doubt, because from their body language, that is why Nigerians are doubting about the credibility of anti-corruption agency.
Yeah.
We know whoever come as the chair of the anti-corruption agency, it will be very difficult for him to go successfully without having any scandal. Look at how Ibrahim Magu ended. And look at how Abdurrashid Bawa ended. And even look at how the pioneer of the EFCC chair ended, Ruhu Ribadu. So as long as there are not going to be a kind of like credibility, I doubt if Nigerians will continue to support the fight against corruption, because even the fight against corruption, there is not political neutrality there. Now tell me, if to say that allegedly the way Nasiru El-Rufai is being categorized as the political prisoner, if now in a broad daylight under the custody, Nasiru El-Rufai will decide to leave the opposition party, which is the ADC, by tomorrow maybe Nasiru El-Rufai may likely have his own bail, and he will just continue to come and work with them, because they said if you cannot beat them, and join them. And if there is a trust between the public and the anti-graft agency, why is anti-graft agency yet to start winning the fight against corruption from Nigerians? Because if you see something, say something. Now what the anti-graft agency, they are trying. Of course they are trying. We saw how they have been trying to at least do some fight against corruption individually. Every time if you go to their website, you will see a kind of a recovered item from scammer, a recovered item from social person. They are trying. One person. We even saw what they did to Saleh Mahmoud, which they actually the court sentenced him to 75 years imprisonment. I pray he's going to serve that sentence before, if the government reshuffle, somebody may even come and grant him a kind of like amnesty, which is also a setback to our own anti-graft agency. But what they will do is they should try and at least use the necessary agency in promoting their own good work, what they are doing. I think there is what we call, is it National Orientation Agency, which is their own duty to promote all the good side and even the bad side of the government, if they can do that. Because I doubt if they can promote the bad side of the government. But you and I know that the government, there are certain places when the government are doing good, and there are certain places where the government need to do more. So I think the FCC should do that. And an average Nigerian want to fight corruption, because it is the corruption that sent this country to where we are now. It is the corruption that is currently battling. And especially people seems to forget there's what we call administrative corruption and there's what we call political corruption. And if I tell you allegedly, like civil servants are more corrupt than the politician, I think many Nigerians will not believe that, because the moment you assume the mantle of leadership as minister, as DG, as ES, or even chairman, or whatsoever any political office you hold, you have to connive with the civil servant. They are the one who are going to show you how you are going to do this, do that. But this is all an allegation. But I pray there will be a time when Nigeria will fight corruption to the core.
So, do you think at this point that there is hope? Because you've said that you wish Nigerians would fight corruption to the core. But right now, as a people, do you think we're even ready to fight corruption? Because a lot of times when we talk about corruption, the lens is always, or the spotlight is always on those in power. But then the average Nigerian at this point has some level of corruption in them. I saw a video over the weekend of a lady who went to the market and she saw people adulterating palm oil, pouring red dye inside the palm oil. And she recorded them saying what they were doing is evil because you don't know the health implications
Of
of
that.
mixing dye with palm oil. And then all the people in the market, all the sellers around there ganged up and started beating her
Oh
up,
my God.
saying that she wants to
Expose them.
Yes, expose them and spoil or ruin their source of livelihood. Now, your source of livelihood is at the detriment of the health of another person. We've seen where right now in Nigeria, there are hardly places you can go to. Anywhere you are going to, you need to have some change in your car or in your bag to sort people with 500, 1,000 naira. If you are traveling and you're using the airport, I don't want to mention the names of the airports, but there are some airports, national airports. I would even mention them in Lagos, in Abuja here, where people are asking you for money, people are asking you for, you can use tips to sort out one or two things. So do you think that we as a people are actually ready right now to tackle the issue of corruption?
Yeah, you asked me about whether if there is hope or there is no hope. Yes, there is
Yes.
hope. I so much believe there will be a time when Nigeria will reclaim the mandate of giant of Africa again, even if I'm not alive. Even though one of my senior colleagues say that I'm very, very optimistic, which I'm proud to be an optimistic.
Yes.
And the fight against corruption, we are also the one that we are pushing politicians to be corrupt at all costs.
Yeah.
And change begin with me and change begin with mindset. If that lady that recorded that video is trying to expose them, do you know that what she's doing? She's actually helping them in the hereafter. But they say that she is trying to destroy the source of their own livelihood. And now, what is the work of NAFDAC? And what is the work of Consumer Protection Commission?
Yeah, you know, these agencies cannot be everywhere. And that's why, just like you said, you have to see something and then say something. The time you will hold them accountable is when you say something and they don't do something.
Well, but at least they have to have the kind of like eye everywhere because it is a government agency. And I believe they normally used to get a first-hand information before common Nigerians have. But the fight against corruption, for as long as we are going to use our own religious institution to fight, to preach on the negative implication of corruption, I think we will fight against corruption. Do you know that there is a kind of like set of people that were being destroyed for being corrupt? They were destroyed. God Almighty Allah destroyed them for being corrupt. And now look at it. This is the situation where we are. I am a living witness because I went to one market here in Abuja. What I saw, it actually got me devastated. I was so curious to understand. I saw a bag of Caroline. They were unsealing it. And I was like,
A bag of carrots.
Caroline rice.
Okay.
They were unsealing it. And I just like paid a keen attention there. Do you know what I saw at the end? They were removing one cup out of the bag. One cup out of the bag.
Can you imagine that?
I am a living witness. I saw this thing with my eyes. And when they noticed that I was actually like watching what they are doing, they quickly closed the door. I was like, look at the level of country we are. This is the Malan that is being corrupt, but he's accusing someone in Abuja holding a public office of being corrupt. So we need to fight corruption at all costs. And corruption, 5 naira, illegal 5 naira or halal of 5 naira, I think is more fulfilled than 1 billion naira that you got during corruption or on the process of corruption.
Yeah, very, very true. And we really hope and wish that a lot of people will have this kind of mindset. So let's move to our next story. We're still looking at the Daily Trust, military's new pay scale, 187,200 to 3.25 million naira. Now, we know that we talked about it sometime last week that the new pay scale for the Nigerian military represents a significant development, and it's also a significant difference compared to what they were previously earning. So let me just hear your thoughts on how this increment, which we hope to roll out very soon,
You know-
will impact Nigeria's fight against insecurity?
Increment is good, but the problem is not increment. The problem is implementation. The problem is equipment.
Yes.
Because you increase my salary, but you're not sending me to trainings. You're not deploying AI and robotic machines to help me find the problem of insecurity. My welfareism is not catered for. You and I had that conversation when you went out for another trip, when one of them was able to at least pinpoint that most of their welfare are not catered for. And you know how the story ended.
Yes.
And these are the people that you are sending them to the bush in order to fight against insecurity, but they are lacking some sophisticated and modern gadget. Do you know that now if they want to detect a landmine, they can use what they call, is it night vision glass? I don't know, maybe if you heard about that thing.
Yes.
It's going to visualize everything for them, but they are lacking that thing. Their equipment may be like ammo tank. They don't have enough ammo tank to fight the problem of insecurity. Now look at it. You will see one bandit or criminal trying to at least aim or even launch attack with RPG. While what you have in your hand is not even sophisticated as RPG. Look at the level of how our armed personnel are being ambushed on their way maybe to Kasina, on their way to Basari, on their way to Kaskia, on their way to Meadua. They're all being ambushed and killed. It's beyond the implementation of new salary scale. Like, if you're a constable or if you're a private or if you're a general, do you know that most of the training now is only those in the senior officers that are enjoying virtually most of the training?
Yes.
And you and I know that most of the senior officers are not there in the battlefield. They are there in the office giving commands. It is the junior staff that they are being sent to the forest, to the bush to go and do that thing. And most of them, they are having a kind of like minimal modern technical equipment of fight against terrorism. They are only doing that. Why? While nowadays, do you know that the current conflict that is currently going on between Ukraine and Russia, most of that thing that happened, like the presence of human being was very, very minimal.
Yes. You know, there was a video I saw during the weekend, over the weekend, of a drone that was chasing a man because he thought the man was a threat. And he ended up injuring the man. He destroyed the man's truck, food truck, because he thought the man was wielding a weapon. That's true. You know, they say that the warfare has gone beyond guns and cutlasses. But this conversation, we will continue, but let's just take a short break. Stay with us.
When you hear the word journalism, what comes to your mind? For many people, it's simply someone sitting in the studio reading the news. But journalism is much more than that. According to UNESCO, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, journalism plays a vital role in society because it gives people accurate and reliable information to help them make informed decisions. In simple terms, journalism helps people understand what's happening around them and why it matters. So you may likely ask, how do journalists make sure the information they share is true? Research by the Reuters Institute for the Study of Journalism shows that the trust in the news depends on accuracy and transparency. That's why professional journalists don't just rush to publish stories just because they are trending. They take their time to check the facts. This process is called verification. It means speaking to different sources, checking official documents, and confirming information before posting it. Also, the Society of Professional Journalists, one of the world's leading journalism organizations, says journalists should seek the truth, report it fairly, and correct mistakes when they happen. That's why credible news organizations rely on multiple trusted sources instead of rumors on unverified social media posts. Think about it this way. If a video claims that the major incident has happened, a journalist won't report it immediately. They will first of all confirm the information with the police, emergency agencies, eyewitnesses, or other reliable sources. Only after the facts have been verified is the story published. And now, in today's digital world, where everyone can post information online, UNESCO says the spread of false information has made fact-checking more important than ever. That's one of the main reasons journalism remains valuable.
Welcome back from that break. If you're just joining us, this is the Morning Digest happening live on S24 television. And we've been having very, very insightful discussions here on our newspaper review. And just before the break, we were talking about the recent salary increment for members of Nigeria's armed forces. And it's been an insightful discussion with my guest, Abubakar Turaki. So quickly, let's also talk about the sustainability of this pay structure, because you've mentioned or you've highlighted very important points earlier that it's not about salary increment alone, but it's about the kind of weapons or the equipment, the tools they need to actually fight this war. But how sustainable will this be at the long run, looking at the fact that the Nigerian government is currently running on a deficit in various parts of its budget? Like, the budget is not even enough to handle all the issues and all the sectors 100%.
Yeah, it is sustainable at all costs. Even if they cannot sustain it, I think they will go to their own Western allied and continue to borrow money and do that, because
Please, no more borrowing.
defense is one of the vital sector in every serious country.
Yes.
That they should not play with it. If you look at the budget that Saudi Arabia is budgeting for its own defense, if you look at the budget of United States of America that are budgeting for their own defense, I think if you look at our own defense budget, you would just see Nigeria need to do more. So at all costs, they will do that, even for their own, even for their own benefit, because they are also enjoying the maximum security that even the common people are also enjoying. I think if to say that we have another Nigeria apart from this Nigeria that we have, I think that is why maybe I will tell you it may not be sustainable. But we are using the same Nigeria, they are enjoying with the same resources, the same airport, different hospital. Yeah, I don't know, maybe you are understanding
Yes, I
the
understand.
analysis. We are enjoying the same hospital, different hospital, and the same security atmosphere. So it will be sustainable, and government is a continuous process, and no matter what, it will be sustainable. And I pray after that increment of salary, they are also going to introduce rigorous training and awareness, and also orientation and reorientation to most of the junior staff. I'm not saying that they are not doing it, because I know that every end of the month they used to have a kind of like that monthly briefing.
Yes.
But what happened to those that are in the battlefields?
Yes.
And sometimes there are what we call emotional and psychological trauma. If you are in the battlefield for at least good 3 to 6 months, I think you need to come back to the people. You need to come back to your family. You need to come and see your therapy, because you don't know anything about from gunshot. You don't know anything about from
Yes.
seeing blood. You don't know anything about from fighting insurgency.
fighting and
So this thing
shouting.
is actually going to affect your own mental health.
Yes.
So there is all this thing. It's just the implementation and the necessary people, if they are in the affairs of leadership. I believe there will be a time when Nigeria will continue to be
All
the
right.
best.
And hopefully too, we hope to see more enrollment in the military. Looking
Well,
at-
I doubt the way things are going. If Nigerians are so passionate about joining the military, it's only when people that consider military as their own last hope, because every fresh graduate is looking for white collar job at NMPC, CBN,
Yeah, the big
NIDA,
names.
NCNC, and most of the lucrative agency of government.
All right, so let's quickly look at our next paper because of time. I'll be looking at the Punch newspaper. The front page says, Presidency, Atiku in fresh war of words over killings. Now, the presidency and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar are at it again, exchanging words. So let me just quickly hear your thoughts on that before we go.
I believe by now Atiku have been contesting more than 4 to 5 times now.
Yes.
By now Atiku could have just go back and at least continue building his hereafter.
Are you sure he's not trying to be like former President Muhammadu Buhari? That was how he also tried multiple times.
Yeah,
and
but
eventually, it worked out for
if
him.
you look at the scenario of Muhammadu Buhari and Atiku Abubakar, these are two different northern politicians. And up to this material time, I stand to be corrected. Apart from Muhammadu Buhari, there is no any northern popular politician than Atiku Abubakar. Forget the likes of Konkoso.
Yes.
Konkoso is a regional politician.
Yes.
Apart from Northwest, Konkoso does not have any political ground. But Atiku Abubakar, in the entire 19 northern states, he has a political ground there.
Yeah.
Coming back to the altercation between the presidency and Atiku Abubakar,
Abubakar.
Atiku will never relent and will never allow the presidency to rest until and unless after the 2027 general election. Subsequently, if he is able to defeat them, well, you will see positive things from Atiku Abubakar. And I
Are
saw,
you sure about that?
yeah, Nigeria's politicians can do everything to win the hearts of Nigerians. They can do everything to at least get sympathy and empathy from Nigerians.
Until they come into power.
Until they come into power, when they will unleash hell. Because I told you, Nigerian politician will promise you paradise and he will unleash hell. Nigerian politician will promise you hen, and if you vote him, he will give you a kind of half egg. Nigerian politician will promise to leave 100 million Nigerians out of poverty, while he will end up pushing more into poverty. Atiku Abubakar seems to forget that he is an elderly man and he has a strong voice. If the way Atiku Abubakar have been criticizing the government of APC for failing, if to say that Atiku Abubakar could have been bringing some solution, he is a former vice president, and a former vice president have unrestricted access to the president, either officially or unofficially. He is an elder statesman. He can at least book an appointment with the president, put the president down, put the president, you have done well here, but here you need to at least do more. But they always go out and they always go out to use their own spokesman to go and defend and even criticize the government of the day. Well, it is the beauty of democracy. We knew when the APC have been doing before they assumed the mantle of leadership, how they were able to criticize the government of Jonathan. But now Atiku Abubakar said that for the past 3 months, almost 5,000 Nigerians were killed, and this is a report by Punch, that it was Punch that reported that 5,000 Nigerians were killed, which is something to baffle, and is something that got Atiku Abubakar to speak out. But Atiku Abubakar failed to forget that within that 3 months, almost 12,000 to 20,000 terrorists were killed.
As well.
This is a report from DSS, police, and armed forces. So why is Atiku Abubakar trying to be blind? We know the level of casualty if a country is fighting war. You can never eschew casualty and you can never exaggerate casualties. So that is why the presidency is saying that Atiku Abubakar, what you are doing, maybe you are trying to get sympathy and empathy from Nigerians so that they should vote you. They even went ahead that Atiku is a serial failure. So I believe Atiku Abubakar should at least find a kind of like another pattern to win the election, because most Nigerian politicians have exhausted most of their own patterns. We are now trying to be more politically aware, more politically inclined, and more politically socialized.
But do you think at this point that it is the responsibility of the opposition to speak about insecurity? Because a lot of times when issues around insecurity happen, you find out that it is only the opposition that is speaking up. You won't hear anybody within the APC camp vocally coming out, or publicly coming out rather, to say this and that about the security situation. And then same thing, we have a lot of elder statesmen right now, but none of them, or just a few of them, are vocal about how this current administration is doing. But once there is an interest in that government, then you start hearing them coming out to criticize or to support, as the case may be. So is it the responsibility of the opposition right now to scrutinize the government? Do you think that this exchange that they are both having is contributing meaningfully to national development, or it's just another political scoring?
It's just a tool for distraction. And still there are members of the APC that are speaking to the government. But if you remember the likes of Ali Indume from Borno State, he have been going against most of the policies that are being brought by the leadership of President Tinubu. But what happened? They were able to suspend him. We know the likes of Senator Abdul Lingi, who has been speaking about the problem of insecurity. He also got his own share of suspension. These are elected people, and if you say that you are among the appointed people, appointed by the executive, if you start going against the government of the day, the government that feed you, you will surely see your sack later within the blink of an eye. We saw the allegation that happened. It's an allegation. Remember when Kayode Abetekum who was the IGP of police, who was unable to succumb to the pressure of state police. Kayode was sacked and he was replaced by who? Disu.
Olatunji Disu.
But
Is
these are
that
all
really the
allegations.
reason?
That is why I
Yes.
said allegation.
Allegations.
Allegation. Remember what happened to the former Minister of Finance, Wale Edum, when they started having a kind of like issues between him and the executive. Wale Edum, they said that he resigned, but based on the intels, allegedly he was sacked and he was replaced by Tayo. So until and unless we have leaders that have the love of the country in their heart, leaders who will not feel bad because you criticize them, that is the time when Nigerians will appreciate criticism and critics from the opposition. But what they are doing right now, they are just trying to romance each other.
So how then can Nigerians now distinguish political point
Statements?
scoring, yes, to genuine conversations about insecurity or other national issues that require attention?
Do you know that an average Nigerian does not even care who the president is? An average Nigerian, now, if we are going to go out for a voice pop and said, do you know that we have a new national anthem? I believe many Nigerians will not even do that because the government have failed to deliver its own mandate to the people. Then how are we going to encourage that? By at least inculcating civic education, by at least bringing back national values, and the government itself from their own part, they should do everything. They should try and bring government very, very close to the people. They
Yes.
should not be distracted by politics instead of governance. You know, there's a difference between politics and governance.
Yes.
But now most people were not able to at least deliver their own share of governance. They are just went ahead politicizing and doing politics. And for as long as you will continue to play politics, you will only continue to play your own interests. But if you say that you are going to play the rule of governance, it is the time when Nigerians, when your citizens will feel the share of national cake. It is the time when we will see massive employment recruitment. It is the time when we will see massive infrastructural development. It is the time when we will see Nigerians beating their chest when they will die for their country. For as long as they will continue to play politics, Nigeria will continue to be politically apathetic in nature because the level of political apathy is high.
Yes.
Many Nigerians are even saying that we are not going to vote in 2027, which is actually a backlash to our own democracy.
Yes.
If you can remember, I think Donald Duke said that if you fail to come out and participate in politics, well, it is at their own advantage because your own vote that you fail to come out and vote, they will use it allegedly and manipulate the election in their own favor. And another suffering for additional 4 years. I think Nigerians suffered a lot to the extent that this is the right moment. We should not allow politics to take over 2027 election.
Yes.
And at all
It should
costs,
be the
I'm calling on
Nigerian
Nigerians,
interest
please, don't be deceived by Nigerians politicians. Nigerians politicians are smart enough. Nigerians politicians can do everything possible to remain power at all costs. Nigerians politicians can go extra mile, even if doing something allegedly, if doing something fetish things,
Yes.
in order to retain power at all costs.
Yeah, thank
But
you
this
so
is the
much,
right time for
Abubakar.
us to go for what we call, because you know, in places like Uganda and India, there's what we call independent candidacy.
Yes.
Independent candidacy is a situation whereby a sole independent will come out, canvass his supporters, and he's not going to tally himself with any political party.
All right. Thank you, Abubakar. I have to put a stop to you right now. Thank you for coming today. That concludes today's newspaper review. Coming up next, we'll step outside the studio to hear directly from Nigerians in our Street Talk segment. Later, we'll bring you political arena, top trends, and all the latest sporting action from the sports desk. Until then, this is me saying goodbye and stay tuned.
Why are schools becoming targets for kidnappers? It's a question many Nigerians continue to ask as parents live in fear every time their children leave for class. Education is meant to offer hope, yet for some families, the school gates have become a source of anxiety rather than reassurance. Instead of asking children what they learned in school, some parents are left wondering if their children will return home at all. The situation forces us to confront uncomfortable questions. If children cannot safely attend school, is their right to education truly being protected? The right to education is recognized globally as a basic human right. Yet repeated attacks on school continues to deny many children access to learning. Across parts of Nigeria, thousands of pupils have missed months and sometimes years of education. But should children stay at home because criminals threaten schools? The answer must be no. Taking children out of school will hand victory to those who seek to spread fear. Education remains one of the strongest tools for building a secure and prosperous nation. If today's children are denied learning, the country risks losing the doctors, teachers, engineers, and leaders of tomorrow. This is why the remaining children still in captivity must not be forgotten. Their absence is a reminder that behind every statistics is a child with a dream, a family waiting, and a future hanging in the balance. The government must act with urgency, not only to bring every child home safely, but also to ensure that schools once again become places of learning rather than places of fear.
Good day and welcome to Political Arena here on S24 Television. I am your host, Abubakar Turaki. For decades, conversation about Northern women have often shaped by stereotype rather than reality, while many still associate Northern women with silence, limited opportunities, and dependence. A new generation is changing the narrative. Today, Northern women are leading businesses, advocating for social justice, driving innovation, influencing policy, holding public offices, providing culture and ambition coexist. Our guest today is Ambassador Zainab Bello Mahmoud, whose voice has been redefining the future of Arewa and Northern women in Nigeria, who popularly known as Rise with Zayos.
Serious.
She is a passionate advocate for Sustainable Development Goal 5, championing gender equity and empowering Arewa girls to dream beyond limitation. Today we will discuss the challenges and the progress. What are the future for the Northern women, particularly in this critical moment? Ambassador Zainab, welcome to Political Arena here on S24
Thank you
Television.
so much. Thank you for having me.
Please, can you pronounce that name for us?
It's serious. Zainab serious.
Rise with Zainab serious. So let's delve into the topic of discussion, please.
Okay.
So when people hear the word Northern women, what stereotype do you think still exists today?
I think whenever you hear Northern women, people think we are uneducated, we are not exposed, we are not into businesses and stuff like that. And I think we are far beyond that stereotype, because I feel a lot of Northern women are educated, they are business-minded, they are creative, but we just don't have the platform or the opportunity to display, yes, our intellect. So I think we need to stop that stereotype, because if you said Northern women, that doesn't mean we are.
Okay, which part of the Northern stereotype concerned you most? Is it keeping the child at home, not allowing them to go and excel, not allowing them to go and explore?
I think it's more like the culture, where the Northern women are painted in a way that a good Northern woman is supposed to be at home, staying, taking care of the children, and not dwell in all these aspects like businesses and stuff. I think that is the main issue at point now.
Okay, have these stereotypes affected your personal journey so far?
Yes.
Okay, can you share with us?
Yes. So I think as another woman, I come out on social media, I talk, and most of the time the comments and people think, you are now married, go home and stay, go and get married, not knowing I have 2 children. So because of that, I think people are already stereotyping other women. Just because you are coming online on social media and talking, then that definitely means you are not a proper Northern woman, which is not it. So for me personally, I think being on social media discussing issues, people think I'm just probably don't have anything to do.
Well, so why do you think this stereotype have lasted for a very long period of time?
I think we are not enlightened
Proper
more.
enlightenment.
Yes, we are not, because from childhood, when we are growing, I think from almost each home, you are taught to be conservative, you are taught to stay at home, you are taught to take care of your family, you are taught to get married. We are not taught to go out there, pursue business,
Showcase
pursue. Yes,
yourself.
exactly. So I think that is what is affecting us.
And do you think that like the Northern women themselves sometimes feel like, oh, since because I was actually brought up in that way, I don't need to go out and extend my tentacles?
I think that is the biggest problem we're having. Because when I started my program trying to encourage women to start businesses and stuff, I thought people, I'm just going to teach them how to do the business. But when we started, I just realized that a lot of women are not even interested in doing the business, because they feel, as another woman or as a woman, I'm supposed to be at home. Allah said, people said, our culture. So I feel we have to start changing that narrative, because the women don't have that enlightenment.
Mentality.
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you a little bit personal. In your opinion, who is a modern Northern Arewa woman?
I think a Northern Arewa woman is a woman that is independent. Also a home carer, because you can be a mother, you can be a wife, you can be an entrepreneur, you can be anything you want. You don't have to limit yourself to just one thing. You don't have to limit yourself to only being a parent or only being a wife, or only, you can do anything and be independent. I think that is the future of Northern Arewa women.
Okay, you often say Arewa girls deserve more than silence and survival. What does that statement mean to you as Rise with Zayas?
Serious? I think Northern women are truly, truly limited at home. I feel like they don't have that courage. Most of them are scared or afraid to come out, because that is what our culture have shaped what another woman should be. So I feel a lot of women have that intellect, have that creativity, but they are scared to come out to present it. So that's why I say, don't be silent. If you have something, come out, as far as it is not against our religion, which I don't think
and
our
even against our
religion.
law.
Yes, and our religion didn't say you shouldn't be independent. Even the culture, if it said, then we have to rewrite the culture, because a woman being restricted, I don't think it's a good future for everyone.
That your, shall I call it slogan, actually speak a lot about you. What inspired this message? You have been saying, don't be silent, don't be silent. What is the message are you sending? Particularly, don't be silent.
I think everyone should wake up and be independent.
And no one should be silent.
Yes, no, like just come out and say, and be who you are. We are, like I said, we are creative. If all Northern women will come out and present their creativity, or dwell in businesses, or dwell in ideas, I feel the future is bright for especially Northern women and Northern society. But I feel everybody is just trying to be conservative, trying to follow what the culture say, trying to follow what the religion say. And I think it's not time to be silent anymore.
Of course. So what kind of future do you want young girls to believe is possible in this country?
I want them to believe that if they can be whatever they are, they can be independent, they can pursue business, yeah, they can be parents, they can be wives, so they can be whatever they are. They should not be limited to just one idea. I'm going to stay at home. This is the right thing to do, because it's not actually. So you need to,
let them believe in themselves. There's always light at the end of the tunnel.
There's always light at the end of the tunnel. And at the same time, you can educate yourself beyond, because right now I feel the highest education level is, if they allow you, is to be to
SSC.
BSc. Exactly. If you say you want to pursue master, they'll say, she likes, So I feel women can go to up to PhD level. We can be anything. We
saw
can be doctors. We
professors.
can
We saw the
exactly.
likes of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala,
Exactly.
Amina Mohammed,
Exactly.
and we even saw the likes of Farida Waziri,
Exactly.
and many more.
Yes. So, and that's why we want to even bring all these people and listen to their stories, so that will encourage the upcoming ones to know that these people, they are all married, they are all self-empowered, so you can be like them as well. You don't have to choose just one particular aspect of your life and say, okay, I'm comfortable here.
Well, it sounds bold. What are the biggest challenges facing young girls and women in northern Nigeria today? You made mention of lack of awareness, lack of education. What are the other
and lack
challenges?
of mentorship. Yes, I feel if a lot of women are mentored and they are showed the way, oh, this person did it, this person did it, this person achieved this, you can too. I feel it will encourage more women. And then if you see someone that has it all, let me use that word. Actually, no one has it all, but maybe someone that you feel has it all. Maybe she's married, she has her kids, and she's still achieving something. I feel that kind of encouragement will make the younger ones feel, oh, I can do this too. So I think that mentorship to see what the ones that have already made it have gotten.
You mean there is no limitation to your dreams?
Yes, there is.
Okay, so which challenge should be addressed first?
I know this will be controversial, but but the cultural
aspect.
Yes.
Sometimes culture are man-made.
It's all man-made. And for us, Arewa, I think gaskiya we need to sit down and not challenge the culture, but rewrite our culture.
Redefine the culture.
Yes, redefine it, because I feel our culture is really, really limiting a lot of people. And then if we will stick to the culture, then that means there's no growth for Arewa. So we need to sit down, rethink and rewrite our culture and see. In this era, I just feel like this moment is the time where, as Arewa people, we are supposed to be teaching our girls, oh, these are the limit, these are the do's and don'ts. If you are into business, you are not supposed to do this, these are our limit. Not we should be fighting, a woman is supposed to be independent. So I think we are way back.
I was really touched with the way you spoke. Our own region, Arewa region, is under insecurity and insurgency. And some people even call it is under siege. But I saw like you are calling on northern people that if they can at least channel their effort the way they are into gossip in social media, if they can channel that effort in addressing the problem of insecurity, you said in your own word, you believe that some problems in northern Nigeria are going to be addressed. How possible is that?
Well, I think it's very possible. Social media is a very powerful platform. And then when you go on social media, most of it is gossip. Most of it is wedding gossip and stuff. And I feel especially, and we are the highest number of people in the whole of Nigeria. Exactly. So if we can channel that gossip or that post or that wedding into empowerment, into teaching, into stuff, it's going to make a lot of impact. But when you are scrolling, out of 100%, 99% it's entertainment. But I saw a lot of people are saying, oh, that is what brings in the money, or that is what brings in. But still, I feel if we can channel half of that energy, 50%, into empowering our people, into teaching them, into changing the narrative, I feel it's going to go a long way. A lot of our upcoming youths are using the social media.
You mean you should not be using social media in the negative manner?
Exactly. You can use it for your entertainment.
I saw something that actually touched my heart in social media. There's a scandal between a young business mogul who is married to one foreigner, and she was able to use her own social media, and at the tail end she was able to rescue.
Well, that is good. I didn't say don't use social media for entertainment or the gossip, 100%, but the amount, the percentage is beyond reconstruction back, you understand?
That should be a limit.
Yes, if you can go in on social media for entertainment, it should be 50%, and for education, for enlightenment, it should be 50%, but we are at 99.1%.
0.9%. Okay, let's go to the next question. Like, education is often described as the greatest equalizer. How important is education in helping northern girls break the barrier?
It is very, very important.
How very important?
100% important, because I feel at times, if you are not educated, you can't actually achieve anything. It doesn't mean going to school, university, and stuff, because there's a program we wanted to do when it comes to empowerment from our grassroots empowerment. I just realized that whenever they are empowered, given products or given monetary assistance to empower themselves, because they don't have the education or they don't have that education in general. Yes, they end up exactly. Some sell the equipment to just use the money for food and stuff. And I feel if they can just have that education, or you can use this money, or you can use this is how you are going to get more money from this is how you run your business and everything. I think it will help them more. But because of that lack of education, they don't even know how to.
It all boils down to what
exactly
you said,
and
proper mentorship.
Yes, so and that's what we want to
So beyond
work on.
formal education, what life skills should girls learn?
Well, a lot of skills.
Can you mention few?
I think public speaking, you should be confident in that. I think computer literacy, you should be lenient in that because of AI now and everything. If you have AI, you can even teach yourself anything. Yes. And then just normal skills, maybe cooking. You can start your cooking business at home, sewing. There's a lot of skills that I feel as a lady,
I think you are supposed to human relation too.
Exactly.
Okay, what message do you have for parents who still hesitate not to send their own children to school?
Please.
Like the more you attend the poverty is, no, we are sending you out. Will make you out.
Please, I think we should be beyond that, Gaskia. Arewa, we should be beyond that. When it comes to education, I feel now we should not be discussing whether a girl or a boy should go to school. I feel it is compulsory and necessary. That topic, I think it should just be dropped.
Okay, right.
So parents, please.
Okay, Zainab, serious. We are going for a break.
Okay.
So don't forget, this is Political Arena here on S24 Television. Let's go for a quick break. When we return, the conversation will continue. You're watching Political Arena here on S24 Television. Our discussion today focuses on breaking Northern stereotype, redefining the Northern woman with Ambassador Zainab Bello Mahmoud. Rise with Zainab. Okay, going into the other part of our conversation, some people believe that advocating for women's rights contradict with culture and religion. What will you say about that?
Well, I feel that is the challenge we keep having. Whenever a woman come out and is trying to motivate or empower women, they say, she is this, she is that. But if you want to talk about religion, I don't see anywhere where religion say don't do that, because religiously women have teach not only women but men as well. So if we are going to bring back history of religion, there's no way exactly Nana Aisha and stuff. So I don't think religion stopped anyone. So the problem is the culture. And like I said, we need to redefine this culture, because anything or any culture that is bringing our people back, then I think it needs redefining.
It needs to be abolished or redefined.
Yes.
These are your words.
Yes.
Can gender equality exist within our culture and religious value? And how do you think we can encourage gender equity in our society?
I don't think the word gender equality, and I just don't think that is what we are fighting for, or that is what we are saying. It's just women should have a certain right. We are not saying we are competing with men or we want to be like men. No, we just need a certain right, because as a woman, because I said I want to be educated, or because I said I want to be independent, that doesn't mean I'm trying to be like a man. So that is what we are working on.
We are biologically different.
Yes, we are, and we believe that. But at the same time, we also need our independence, where we are supposed to grow. And
so when you mean independent, what do you mean? Is it financial independence?
Yes.
Technological independence?
Yes.
Or independent in what aspect?
Financial independence, one, and then psychologically you need to be independent. Yes. Your life doesn't need to revolve around anyone. I think we are all brought into this world to worship. So I'm not supposed to worship you as a man. I just feel I'm supposed to be independent personally, and then do what is needful between the two of
Saying
us.
about talking about independent, I just remember something like what a man can do, a woman can do better.
I don't think so.
Okay, when it comes to empowerment of girls, because no matter how you might mention of financial independence and many more. So do you think that traditional rulers, religious leaders have a very vital role to play when it comes to empowerment of girls in Arewa?
Yes, they do. And they are the one that are supposed to do most of this uplifting. Because I feel us in Arewa, especially, we are religious, and I think we listen to our religious leaders a lot. And then when our religious leaders are coming out to say women are supposed to stay at home, women, I think that narrative is kind of
that
so
conversation
I think,
between like what happened in Adama and Yola.
Yes. So I want the religious leaders to come out and preach in a way that, okay, as a woman, you have independence to do so, and so, but these are your limits in Islam. So I think from there, that is when the ones that are growing up will learn more. But when they keep limiting people, I think we'll just keep going back. Exactly, yes.
Okay. So what practical step can community take in addressing the problem of Arewa girls? We spoke about the parent, the government. Now let's boil down to community.
The community consists of people around you, which are still parents. It consists of the religious leaders, which I feel everyone has, how will I say, everyone should have that courage to empower the women. Because if my neighbor believe as a woman, I'm not supposed to, or as a youth, you are not supposed to do something, then he's also a parent. So he's not going to encourage me. He's not going to encourage his child. So I feel everybody need to revisit our ideology and culture.
So you have been using social media positively from the comment we got outside. Like, do you believe that has social media helped to change the narrative, or it has created more challenges?
Well, there is nothing that doesn't have pros and cons. I think it has brought a lot of challenges, and at the same time, it has helped a lot in some other aspects.
So you made mention of cyberbullying. So, like, do you think that how can young women handle cyberbullying?
Personally, I will say before I start social media, I know there's this bullying and a lot of things are going to come up. So I've already positioned my mind into not dwelling on it. I know what I'm doing. I pray for Allah to put me on the straight path. And I just feel I do it and then ignore anything that comes behind it. So at times people call me, do you see comments? Do you see this? I say, wallahi, I don't read the comments.
So you mean you're advocating them that they should just have a tunnel focus?
Yes.
If they are going right, let them stick to their right.
Yes.
They should not allow anyone distract them in their own journey.
Yes, if you know exactly what you're doing,
you're heading
just
to.
Go ahead.
Okay. Nigeria is committed to achieving Sustainable Development Goal number 5. How will you assess the country's progress?
So I think we are trying, but we need to do more, because when it comes to leadership, I don't think we have a lot of women representatives, which I feel Nigeria is actually encouraging that, to have a lot of women advocates and representatives in the cabinet and stuff. But I think we still need to do more. We need to see more women there so that we will be encouraged. But I think the policy are trying to make
there have been a kind of like law that is currently going on that a special seat need to be allocated to women.
Certainly.
But don't you think that like the level of disappointment that the men saw from the female, that is one of the major reasons why they are still yet to allow you to come
we
into
actually
the system?
don't know what
Because
is happening underground.
We saw the likes of what happened allegedly, what happened to Beta Edu. We saw the likes of Dizani Alisoma Duki. We saw the likes of Sadia Umar Farouk.
If we're going to start talking about that, I think we have a lot of cases against the men as well. So I don't think that is an excuse.
Okay, in Nigeria, still talking of SDG goal number 5, what areas do you think we should improve? Is it in education area?
Yes, I think education is very good. And I think the government can also bring more opportunities for our youth and women to indulge in probably, I think they said they gave us grant, but I think we need more empowerment and that will help a lot of people to grow more. Not only education, free education and stuff, but I feel the government can do a lot of things, maybe grants, maybe empowerment programs, maybe whatever to help our youth.
Gender equality. Do you think men have a role to play in promoting that gender equality in our society?
Yes, they do. And I think they are the most important aspect of it. Because, for example, let's say I'm married, and then if my husband doesn't support me and doesn't allow me to be here, I wouldn't have been. So I think, and if assuming I'm not married, if my father or someone from my family doesn't encourage this kind of thing, I wouldn't have been here. So I feel men should encourage women more. And I think when they do, that is when they will have the courage, they will have the
ability to speak out.
Yes.
Okay, so what policies or government intervention will have a greatest impact on girls and women in Nigeria? Is it by allocating you the 90% of the political seats?
No.
Or you needed some kind of some good policy from the government?
Well, I think not 90%, but let's go 50-50.
How possible having 50-50?
That is because they don't allow us. So I think if they really, truly will allow a fair election or maybe a fair representation, I feel women are actually ready to hold on that responsibility. But I think they are just saying it, but it's not actually fair. So
speaking about fair representation from the government, should the government prioritize education, health, economy, and empowerment, or legal reforms in giving chance to women?
I think everything is important from what you said. So both the education, the legal reform, everything is important.
What of the private sector? What role do you think they can play?
Well, so for the private sector, I think businesses, maybe, how will I say it?
Providing some loan or grants, or even access to mentorship.
Yes, and when it comes to that, I feel when it comes to loan, like you said, as a woman, it's more harder for me to get a loan than a man. So I think if they can be fair to us in that aspect, a lot of women have ideas, a lot of women have things to do, but whenever you go to the bank and you want to collect a loan, and then they just see that you're a woman, they have that doubt, you understand? Exactly. So.
Okay, looking ahead of 2030, what change would you like to see in Northern Nigeria?
Well, I want us to be... By 2030, I feel we shouldn't be having this conversation. I think a lot of people in Northern Nigeria should be independent. Women should be supported. Our culture that is bringing women down should be abolished. And then people will just grow and be independent and live freely and happily.
Okay, so what gives you hope?
Well, people like us that are speaking now, I just feel like if a lot of people can come out and speak about these issues, and then if the people will take what we are seeing and people that are saying more than I am, I feel maybe we'll see some differences and some changes.
Okay, before we call it a wrap, I think we need to lower our tempo.
Okay.
There is this what we call rapid fire. It's just a short answer, yes or no, or you are just allowed to reply with one response.
Okay.
One Northern woman who inspire you.
Amina J. Mohammed.
Amina J. Mohammed, Assistant Secretary
I have
General.
two, yes.
No, it's one.
Yeah, please, I have two.
It's one, okay. One book every girl child should read.
I will say the Quran.
Oh.
Read it yourself and understand it yourself.
Oh, so leadership or popularity?
Leadership.
Leadership. Why? Okay. Education or empowerment? Which one came first?
Education.
Education. One myth about Northern women you want to erase forever and ever?
We are not uneducated.
You are not uneducated.
Yes.
Okay, complete this sentence. The future of the Northern Nigeria is?
Women.
Thank you so much. So finally, what message would you like to leave with parents, community leaders, policymakers, young men, and every young girls watching this program today?
Please support your girls, help encourage them, educate them, let them pursue their passion. Don't hold them back, because they are the future. And if they are being limited, our future is not going to be bright.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Zainab Bello Mahmoud. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much
sharing
for
your
having
insight
me
in this important conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Redefining the
having
Northern woman is not just about abandoning culture and tradition. It is about creating opportunities where every girl can learn, lead, contribute, and reach her full potential. When girls are empowered, the entire generation becomes strong. Thank you for watching S24 Political Arena. I am Abubakar. Join us again for another engaging conversation. Goodbye.
Hello, and welcome back to Morning Digest. If you're still with us, you are right on time for Top Trend, the segment where we take a look at what's buzzing online, break it down, and bring you the conversation everyone seems to be having. I am Khadija Mohammed, and joining me today is my guest, Shedrack. Together for Top Trend, we're driving the conversation and why it matters. So let's get right into today's trend, which is welcome to the show, Shedrack.
Yeah, thank you, Khadija.
So on today's morning, our first trend is all about a suspected thief who was arrested after allegedly luring a makeup artist named Lade. The video was actually trending online, where he lured her he paid 30,000 naira to her with half payment, telling the makeup artist that he's booking her for a makeup, not knowing he was actually there to hurt her. So what do you see in this particular thing? But before we digest into the issue, let's take a look on that video first.
What's the name of your father? Mr. Victor what? Mr. Victor Agu. Okay. And your own name is David. David what? David Agu. Who is Chinyere? Chinyere. Who is Chinyere?
That's the name I'm using.
Who is Chinyere?
That's the name I'm using.
That's the name you are using. To do what?
For time. I use it to open Palmpay.
That's the name you use to open Palmpay. Okay. You did an operation, a robbery operation last week. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How did you do it?
I went to pick the girl from the bus stop.
Which girl? A makeup artist.
Yes.
A makeup artist.
Yes.
You invited a makeup artist to come and do makeup for you as a bride. Yes or no? That you are about to do wedding and you want her to sleep over. Yes or no?
Yes.
How many of them came?
Two.
How many of them came?
Two.
And who came to pick them at Okwafo bus stop?
Yes.
Who said?
Okay, so that's basically the video that was trending online. So, Mr. Shedrack, if I may ask, what do you think? What's your opinion when it comes to makeup artists receiving half payment for what we call home service?
Okay, so for me, I think first of all, business has its losses and has its gains as well, right? So unfortunately, we'll call this as a loss. It's also unfortunate that it is coming at a risk that is almost involving the loss of life or something, almost, right?
Yes.
So for things like this, you can try to be careful. However, you might not be able to be too careful or perfectly careful. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because, like you said, they booked her, paid her
Yes.
an advance, right? Gave her a location. Also, there are certain things that if you expose yourself to, or this now would also now be as a learning curve for other people who are doing not just makeup but other
artists.
businesses as well. So if somebody pays you, right, how are you able to verify that address before getting there, right? So these are things you should begin to utilize. Platforms like Google Maps. Can you search this address and see that it is, it is verifiable, it is a place where you can see on the map. However, even if you cannot see on the map, you can't, if for instance, if someone's is booking you for a wedding and saying, okay, we're going to my village, and you search for the village on Google Map and you don't see the village, will you say, no, I won't go? Do you understand?
Yes.
So it is one thing to be careful. It is another thing that you might not also get it 100% that, to eliminate things like this. Just like in war, we have casualties. If war happens, some
Yes.
people die, right? Even if people die from the part or from the team or the country that won the war, eventually there are still casualties. So this is business. But what I think can come into play around things like this is that before going for things like that, you have to there are forms. How do we call, for instance, right? There are people that do renting of equipment, camera equipment, and all of that. So before you rent from them, they collect certain information, they collect certain ID cards and all of those things.
Yes.
So that in case you go with the equipment, at least they have a starting point to be able to trace where who this person is, right? So in businesses or in things like this, as a makeup artist, for instance, if I put myself in the shoe, or if I become a makeup artist today and you book me for a wedding,
Yes.
first of all, I would like to meet with you first before that wedding. Do you understand?
Yes, that's
so it is
important.
the day of the wedding should not be the first day we're getting to meet, right? So we should meet before that wedding, get to talk how you want, what you want, and I mean, as long as you're within Nigeria, we need to find a way to meet before that wedding. So it gives me a sense of who you are,
Yes.
right? It also gives me, I mean, you can be able to pick from people's conversations,
Yes,
right?
yes.
To be able to know that there's something fishy about this person or not. Do you understand?
Yeah.
If you can go as further getting to know even the venue before the day,
Before
so
the
that
day.
it is not that day you wake up and you're trying to find your way. Weddings, makeup artists starts very early, like early hours, 4
Yes.
a.m. and all of that.
Yes.
So you need to be able to know these things, have some of these things, these informations and details, locations and all to yourself. Go
Yeah.
there, verify them, check them out before you eventually go
to
there
that particular.
on the final day.
Yeah, so that brings me to how content creation work, right? So I think if you ask me, I would say for that particular man to message this particular makeup artist, of course, it's because he has seen her content, probably he has seen her shop, he has seen the kind of makeup products she's using, and we shouldn't forget that makeup artists now, if you watch their content online, they will tell you that this product alone that I'm buying is like 900,000. You see one small powder like this. So there are different content whereby you see them saying, don't expect me to do cheap makeup for you. So already, I think we are already trying to tell the public that this is how expensive alone your product is. So you're trying to tell people that I have money. Already the gadget you are using, probably iPhone 17 Pro Max, because believe me, this particular guy, I'm sure he did not just wake up one day and decided to just send her a message that you should come and I've sent you her payments, come and do makeup. Of course, he has been following her. Probably he has been seeing what she's doing, what she's posting online and everything. So that brings me to my next question. Do you think makeup artists they should find another strategy of doing their content when it comes to makeup? Because I feel, if you ask me, I think I will tell you that probably he has seen what she has been doing, and then he'll be like, okay, let me try and message this lady and see. And we shouldn't forget, you made a valid point when you said you need to, we should have our first meet before I can even go for my first makeup thing, right? So, but the whole point is these particular people, they're already used to doing this kind of thing. But we should actually just look at the security. You said something about Google Map, which that's very correct. But let's look at the content. Do you think content creators should change their strategy
Now we're talking about the makeup artists, not all content creators, right? Let's talk about the makeup artists, because honestly, I have seen a lot of content creators whereby they'll come and tell you this particular powder is 500,000, this particular product from so you see this amount of money you are calling on social media, you're actually attracting those kind of people. Right? So do you think they should change that strategy, or they should just continue showcasing the makeup brand and everything?
Okay, so I don't think there is need for a change in strategy, right? If a powder is 100 million and you're going to use it to make me up, of course, for paparazzi's sake, for show of sake, right? It is important you show what it is you're using. Right. However, I think they should build systems around this thing. Do you understand? Don't just be someone that they can chat you up, send you money, and you start running out to go and do makeup. For instance, I believe this. I'm not very sure.
Yes.
But to an extent, I can guess that when this guy reached out to the lady, right? Can you come do makeup and all of this? Of course, she has seen a client, right? And she's taking in the balance. I mean, what they call it, advance, and all of that. If you check, at most, she will just have a business name registration. If that guy wants to pay that money, she would probably send him an OPay account. Do you understand?
Yes.
However, if this lady had registered a proper company, opened a corporate account or a business account, and all of these things, it would give this guy also a sense that this person I want to deal with is somehow very smart and prepared in a way. Do you understand? It's not someone who just said, okay, I do makeup and that is it. And then everything that comes goes. So if creating content that would showcase what you're doing would attract this kind of people, the same content will attract even the legit people as well. Do you understand?
That's true.
It now determines how you relate with your customers, your client. That's where you're able to sieve out some of these people. For instance, someone wants to book you. You say, okay, great, fine. Please, here is a Google form. Just fill it. Do you understand? You don't need to do so much, but as simple as Gmail, if you have a Gmail account, you can create a Google form or just send it to the person, fill in your detail, location. We need to meet first and all of those things. Here is the office account.
Well, we shouldn't forget, like the message was actually urgent. He is urgent something because of course he had a plan. So the advance payment he actually sent her was like, let's say, a timeless something. Oh, I need this very urgent. So I think, don't you think that also will not give her the chance? And we shouldn't forget, of course, she has found another client that I need to do this, because most makeup artists, honestly, they are all after clients, bookings, all of that. So if he actually sent her that message, I'm probably like, oh, it's urgent, I need this tomorrow, maybe today. I've already planned my plan and everything, and then blah blah blah. I have an urgent makeup. I'm getting married, and I'll just send this. You have payments. Come and meet me in this location. Trust me, she wouldn't think straight of following all these formalities of sending him the Google form and everything, right? So we need to, I think, weigh the situation.
Again, I would say, if you build systems, they would help you. Okay. So you don't run a business on inshallah or emotion, right? If you have a business, take it seriously. If anybody is rushing, between the time you take to get to where their location is enough to fill a Google form.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Also, there is no emergency or there is no rush if it has been pre-booked. There are cases where a makeup artist that was already booked is supposed to show up for a wedding makeup, and perhaps they failed and they need to quickly call someone. In that instance, it is not in the night. It is not dark hours. You see that it's morning. They'll be like, okay, hey, please, we booked someone else. They didn't show up, so can you please? And then in those instances, you'll be getting locations of either a house or a hotel. Do you understand?
Yes.
So, okay, I'll be on my way, but please, for it is our practice. Please, here is the form. Please fill it out, fill the necessary information. This is where you make your payments. While you're doing that, I'll be preparing. So once we get, let's say 70% or 30% or 50% down payment, will be on our
I
way.
guess so. Mr. Shedra, let's go for a short break before we continue digesting this matter.
Nigeria can begin with small and everyday choices that reduce waste and protect the environment. Plastic bags are common across the country, but many end up blocking drainage systems and polluting our environment. According to the Ogun State Commissioner for Environment, Ola Oresanya, Nigeria generates over 32 million tons of solid waste annually, with plastics accounting for about 17% of that total. However, switching to reusable cloth bag is a simple way to cut down on plastic waste and keep our streets cleaner. Food waste is also a major issue. Research done by the Triple Green Environmental Development Foundation shows that over 50% of household waste in Nigerian cities are organic food waste. These items, like cloth bags, solar lamp, refillable water bottles, compost bins, and efficient stoves, are affordable, practical, and available in Nigeria. Together, they make up a lifestyle that supports communities and protects the environment. In the end, sustainability is about making smart choices every day. It is also about saving money, protecting the environment, and building a healthier future for Nigeria. Choose sustainability today.
Welcome back, and this is Top Trend. Mr. Shedrack was saying something about building a system when it comes to makeup artists versus clients who usually send message, emergency, it's urgent, it's urgent. So my next question will be, Mr. Shedrack, when you talk about system, right? So let's look at Lade, for example. What if Lade doesn't have that capacity or capability of building a system there? Because of course we've been talking about Google Form, filling a form and all these things. And I'm still saying that we shouldn't forget it's urgent. So I think we should find a solution. Give me an example of an urgent situation and in the way she can actually incorporate that system we've been talking about.
Okay, so Lade has a mobile phone, right?
She does.
It is the same phone she used to create the content for makeup and all. It is the same phone she's using to communicate. First question, is Lade, or did she use the same phone number, her personal phone number? Is it the same phone number she's using to communicate with clients? If yes, that's system flaw number one. Google Form, like I said, if you have a Gmail account, right, you can create Google Form. It's free. Okay. If she didn't, that is another system flaw number two. Do you understand? On TikTok or Instagram and all of that, you can integrate or make it, they call it business account, right? You can even automate it to respond on your behalf. Like collect these details of these people. You can ask it, like somebody messages there, hey, I have makeup I like to do. The person will say, the bot would answer, okay, what's next? And you don't need to be so much of a tech person to do that. It's very, like, you can follow it, you press this, next, press this, and it would work for you. So when I say system, it's not necessarily that she has to go and study business administration or all of that to come and do. No, but there are just basic things that you do to protect yourself. Do you understand? So that she, as Lade, is an individual. Her makeup brand
Business, yes,
is another person. You understand? So they can't be calling you with the same number, messaging with it. You're mixing friends chats with business chats and all of that. So these are some of the things that we let them just slide, but they build up to some of the mistakes we make that cost us certain things eventually. Yeah. So again, like I would say, when it comes to, if you say something is urgent, how was it urgent that Lade was booked previously and given a date and got to that place on that date? So there's no urgency. So she had enough time to do her due diligence. She had enough time to meet up with this person, right? You can't be doing makeup for someone and you're going to go and look at them for the first time and you're just reaching there and you're, oh, okay, her nose is bent. Okay, let me adjust this one. No. Do you understand?
Yes.
Find a way to meet up with this person. Look at them. If you're a professional now, do you understand? You have to look at their face, know the best things to use to apply, how you're going to come. So you prepare for that particular person.
Yes.
Do you understand? Again, this is a system. So if you put this as a practice, right, you know that, okay, when someone reaches out to me, when we talk of emergency, I mentioned earlier, if someone has a wedding, they booked someone before and that person failed them. So this case is different. And this case doesn't happen in odd hours. Do you understand? You have it Saturday, if it's a Saturday wedding, Saturday morning also. And again, like I said, from your point or from your location to where you're going is enough time for them to fill the form, pay an advance before you get there. Do you understand?
Yes.
So it is easy to track. It is easy, even if they want to investigate it, right? They know that, okay, this is business. They sent money into a business account. This is who sent it. Okay, they filled this form. This is the email that filled the form. This is where the email filled the form from, maybe IP addresses and all of that, in case something happened.
Yes.
This is the email that filled the form. This is the location the email filled the form from, and all of that. So, but if you let these things slide again, like I said, you won't notice them until
something happens.
Something like what happened to Lade happened.
Yes.
Do you understand? That is when you begin to understand that, oh, little of these foxes that you're ignoring actually.
So the whole point, we are just saying all makeup artists should do their due diligence, and each of them should have a system whereby what happened to Lade will not happen to another. The makeup artist should not be the victim of, this kind of situation. And of course, I think Lade is actually lucky that she did not even die, because she was injured and he collected her iPhone 17. Her apprentice was there with her. He also collected her iPhone 11. So that was actually a big thing. So I think call to action here would be all makeup artists should learn to have a system whereby it works. It's like your system needs to work, whether it's emergency, whether it's urgent, no matter the situation, just have a system whereby before you go for a home service makeup, make sure you meet your client before. It shouldn't be after maybe I give you an advance and you'll be like, okay, directly I just have to see you. So to all the makeup artists out there, learn to have a system that works good and better. And also don't forget to share your location wherever you're going to. You should always have a backup planned. So, Mr. Shedrack, moving to our next top trend, which is the Kano State just witnessed a mass wedding involving 3,000 couples in a single day. But beyond the numbers and the celebration, what's the story behind the initiative and what does it mean for the couples? Let's digest this trend. But before we digest this, let's take a look for the video.
Ga irin san da nake mai na ƙarya saboda mai so baya misaltuwa kamar maji nake kamar zan iya kace ko zan iya mutuwa
yanda ka san wani sabon doki haka nake ji na saboda ina cikin farin ciki da annishuwa.
A wannan rana ina daga cikin mutane hudu da aka ba guragun sarkin guragun Kano gurbi. To ni ina daga ciki saboda haka ina godiya kuma na ji daɗi yau ina cikin farin ciki.
To Allah yau ya cika mana burin mu. Allah ƙara maimaita mana irin wannan rana kura in bayan nan gaba su ma ko mu ma muna fatan Allah ba mu zaman lafiya.
Insha Allah rayuwa wurin mun Allah da za ta kasance wacce in Allah ya dama na baya da mu za su yi koyi da mu.
Muna cikin masu farin ciki a cikin duka wannan al'amari. Allah ya ba mu zaman lafiya gaba daya. Allah ya ba mu zaman.
From that break, and of course you've seen the video. We are actually talking about the mass wedding in Kano, the initiative, how sustainable it is for the Kano people. So Mr. Shadrach, of course you've watched the video.
Yeah.
So let's digest this. What's your take on the mass wedding happening in Kano State? So will you be part of them in the next?
I mean, those people just ignored mass signs, so they will see mass shaking.
Okay.
That's just what I have to say first.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So, you see, there are different sides to this. The government might feel like, okay, people don't have money, so let's make it easier for them to get married. But in my own opinion, I don't think you need to make it easier for anybody to get married. If they want to get married, they can get married. As simple as it is, right? First, you should be able to gather these 3,000 people and give them jobs. First, right? In either account of history or the Bible or Quran, right? When God created human, Adam, the first thing he gave to him is work, right? Let's go around. Okay, this is an elephant, that's a dog, is chicken, work. Last was when he brought in a woman. Why? Because he saw that this guy is lonely, right? So if the government wanted to make things easier for these people, I think they would have provided them with a means what to do, work. First thing, a man needs work first.
Okay, so I think it's not all about the marriage. After getting them married, they also have, I think, I'm not sure, but I think they have some little business that they're attached to it. But the whole point now is about the sustainability of that marriage. Because if you look at Kano State and the whole, like, they're actually in a part of the north, they are populated, and 3,000 people is not small number if we are being honest, right?
Sure.
So let's look at, even though in Kano State, there's a rate of divorcee cases, there's rate of, let's say, widowers too in Kano State. So my own, the rationale behind the governor thinking of getting these 3,000 people married is the sustainability. And how well did he know that? What if now you gave me a wife, right? How well do you know in the next 2 to 3 months I will not divorce that particular wife again?
No, they should just return the wife back to the governor.
So the whole point is, I keep asking, how sustainable is it? That are they keeping up to, okay, those numbers? Do they have like a system whereby they are tracking those particular people? How long will they stay in that marriage? How do they even love each other? That's the question, honestly.
Well, so for me, right, I think this very marriage thing that happened in Kano is at face value, right? I don't think there's so much depth in it. I also do not think it is sustainable, right? Because what you just did, or what just happened, is you've commissioned about 3,000 times 2, that is 6. So if we have 3,000 men that got married to 3,000 women, that's 6,000 people. That is, if that's the case.
Yes.
You have about 6,000 people. Imagine each of them give birth to one child.
That's a lot.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So, again, I'll still go back to say the first thing these people needed was work. Business is something. Let these men be able to manage and grow these businesses to an extent, and then you can bring in or give them the wives they need. Do you understand?
Yes.
And again, talking about divorce and all of that, just on a lighter note, right?
Yes.
On a very light note, not so much depth into it. Couples who are idle fight the most. Do you understand?
Yes.
So the reason why the man has time to quarrel with the woman is because he's jobless. The reason why the woman has time to quarrel with the man is because she's jobless. Do you get? If both are very occupied, just imagine that the man works with a bank, the woman too maybe works with another maybe bank. Two of them early in the morning, they come back. When you come back, you're tired, you just want to shower, get something to eat, just chat with your husband and sleep. And the next day you're gone. You don't even have the time to accommodate some of these things that will eventually lead to resentment and then divorce eventually, right? So, of course, there are other reasons people divorce. That's why I said on the lighter note,
Yes.
right?
So that brings me to the comment section on the video. We got a lot of people saying this is a misplaced priorities, because if you look at Kano State, I think Kano State should have like a number of there are so many cases happening in Kano whereby there's this they have a lot of different gangs whereby they'll go into different homes, killed people, a lot of nasty behaviors happening in Kano. So people were just saying that what he did was actually a misplaced priorities. We have so many things to tackle. There are young people out there, out of school children, and we have all these thugs outside there that he's meant to, take care of. But this is what he's doing. So now, in your own opinion, or in your own say, do you think what he did is actually a misplaced priorities, or he actually helped some other people from that same situation that they are talking about that? Because of course, there are also young people, there are older people among the people that got married, right? So do you think in a way he has reduced that rate of, should I say, criminality in Kano State, or is he opening doors for more cases like that?
So I think he just opened another 3,000 doors for more cases like that.
Okay, so why do you say so?
So if there are other cases of children or young people
yes,
committing different crimes, this is a combination of those kind of young people come from dysfunctional homes, courtesy of a dysfunctional society, right? How do we get to this dysfunctional society? Misplaced priorities. Marrying 3,000 people. Why? Again, I would go back to say, anyone who wants to get married can get married, even if you don't have a dime. Do you understand?
Yes.
You could pay. In short, it gives you, the man, a sense of responsibility to walk your way into marrying that woman. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you want to go and marry for credit, shall go and marry on credit, come back and work and pay that bride price or whatsoever it is. So it gives you a sense of responsibility. Right now, what he just did is share wives for people on a platter of gold. Do you understand?
Yes.
And now, nobody would really, if anything happens, the man didn't pay for he didn't, his sweat is not on that woman, right? So he can literally wake up one day and say, when next is government giving another batch of wives? I need another one. Do you understand?
Yes.
And they would go and apply and marry another one and come and add. They give birth to children. And now remember, again, this man or some of these men might not exactly have the jobs to do. If they did, or if they had jobs to do or businesses to do, they wouldn't need the intervention of the government necessarily to go and get married. From what they are doing, they can be able to afford. When I say afford, I'm not saying a big wedding.
Yes.
Afford to marry, just to do the necessary
average,
things,
yes.
as not by average, as simple as possible. Do you understand?
Yes.
So, but in a situation now where this man doesn't have any sense of responsibility, he was given a wife, right? Paid for by the government, marriage was done or weddings were done by the government, and all of these things. Now, when they give birth to children, how do you think they're going to raise those children? Do you understand?
Yes.
What is that man going to teach those children?
Yeah.
if they are men, if they are boys, how is he going to teach them to treat women, or how is he going to teach them to be responsible men in the society? So it's going to now be another loop of these kids growing up to see those other ones and be like, okay, let me check that out.
Yes.
And they don't have a father who knows that it takes sweat and blood to make money, right? But feels that something can just be given to you and, you can move from there. And now those children become entitled children, entitled young people, and the loop of that, criminality and all of the thuggery and all of those begin to happen. So what just happened again, like I said, is that the government has just opened another 3,000 doors to recreate
another problem.
And
so, Mr. Shadrach, I think we've been talking about the problem all this while. So, in your opinion, again, what do you think are some of the solutions that can actually curb this problem that we've been talking about?
Well, solution number one is don't marry 3,000 people again. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
Right? If people want to get married, you can talk to the communities, the people. Maybe the government believed that getting married is expensive. But the question is, what is expensive? What do you tag or what do you call expensive? Right? If you go to get married and they say, okay, give us 1 goat and a carton of Maggi, 5 bags of salt, give us UPS and AC inverter and generator and all of that. Now, I don't have generator. I don't have this. I don't have this. I don't have this. If they say you will not get married because you don't have those things, this is also another dysfunction, as we earlier mentioned. Why should we be using AC inverter as criteria or things to get married?
I think we need to go on a short break, then we'll continue, because this question has just brought me to another question that I want to ask you. Okay. So let's go on a short break and we'll be back.
Have you ever said yes when every part of you wanted to say no? Or agreed to something you didn't like just to avoid disappointing someone? If that sounds familiar, you might be a people pleaser. A people pleaser is someone who constantly puts other people's needs, feelings, and approval ahead of their own. This is far from being selfless, so don't mix it up. Now, being kind, helpful, and considerate is a good thing, though. The problem begins when helping others comes at the cost of your own happiness, peace, or well-being. People pleasers often struggle to say no. They may apologize excessively, avoid conflicts at all costs, and feel responsible for making everyone else happy. For example, imagine you're exhausted after a long day, but a friend asks for a favor. Instead of explaining that you need to rest, you immediately agree because you're afraid they might think you are selfish. That's people pleasing. Many people don't become people pleasers overnight. Sometimes it develops from childhood experiences or desire to be accepted, fear of rejection, low self-esteem, or growing up in an environment where approval felt like something that had to be earned. The challenge is that people pleasing can be emotionally draining. You spend so much energy making everyone else comfortable that you forget to check in with yourself. Over time, this can lead to stress, resentment, burnout, and even a loss of personal identity. The truth is, saying no doesn't make you rude. Setting boundaries doesn't make you selfish either. And disagreeing with people who doesn't make you a bad person. Healthy relationships are built on honesty, respect, and balance, not constant self-sacrifice. So now let me ask you, yes, you. Are you helping people because you genuinely want to? Or because you're afraid of what might happen if you don't?
Masha, please help me.
No. What? Because there's a big difference. Being kind is a strength, but losing yourself to keep everyone else happy is not. And sometimes the most important person you need to stop disappointing is yourself.
Hello and welcome back. From that break, we are still on the mass wedding in Kano State, and Shadrach here was actually telling us some of the solutions he thinks might actually curb the whole situation. So, Mr. Shadrach, the conversation I was about to chip in was when you said you were talking about how expensive wedding is and how simple we can actually make it. So I think another thing with northern marriages is the fact that, honestly speaking, northern marriages is expensive. So do you think the governor of Kano State actually look at that phase of making, okay, since this is how marriages in the northern states is, or do you think this is another politics he's actually trying to inculcate? What do you think about that?
Okay, so I think this is a very smart play of doing politics,
Okay.
right, emotionally. And I would not call it political emotional blackmail, but I'll give it a term or a word. I'll call it a factory for vote generation. Do you understand? Because let's say they call this empowerment. So imagine you empower 6,000 people. Those 6,000 people are going to keep spreading the word, right? Again, you marry 6,000 people together, they're going to give birth, right? As long as those children are alive and their parents tell them how they met their moms and how they got married, and they say, okay, it is the governor of our state that made it possible for me to meet your beautiful mother, and so on and so forth. Those children would be loyal to that governor. Do you understand?
Yes.
So if that governor contests for anything, trust me, he has 6,000 already, plus, let's say, give and take, they give birth to four children each, right? That's 4 times 3, right? Plus another 6, plus another 6,000.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So that's you're expanding. You're expanding. Do you
Okay.
understand? If from a single state you're able to gather over 20,000 or 30,000 votes, it's something. So imagine if you look into the future 5 years ago and be like, okay, I can create a factory here that can generate me organic 20K votes in 5 years. Smart move.
Very smart.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So I think this is political, very, very political. And if they are able to, now that he has done it, again, for every good side, there's a downside of it. So now that he has been able to successfully create that factory, production would begin soon, right? And when production begins, there are some products that do not exactly, follow suit how you did use to what you wanted to use them. But this is politics, it's not always they use people by votes. Sometimes they use people by thugs.
That's true.
You get it?
Okay, so I think finally, before we move to our final trend of the day, just give us a call to action. Like, like in a simple words, in your terms, though, what do you think the government should do instead of, bringing the mass wedding to 3,000, getting 3,000 people married? What do you think the government should do better when it comes to, this side of the story?
Okay, so I'll think that Kano State should go back and look into their industries, right? Infrastructure and other things, and create opportunities that can be able to accommodate or employ over 3,000 people. Right? It would do more good than marrying 3,000 people.
Okay.
Right? But again, it will do more good to us, the people. But perhaps to the governor, it is doing him more good to marry 3,000 people because there is obviously a motive behind it. But if you look at it on the moral or on the moral side of things, it is better to create opportunities that can empower or provide jobs to over 3,000 people.
Okay, thank you, Shadrach. So the whole point is making, bigger opportunity for the Kano State citizens and also look into their industry, infrastructure, and of course, give a lot of young people jobs rather than, just getting them married. Thank you for sharing that. And finally, to our final story. P-Square saga is once again taking over the internet. Peter Okoye, aka Mr. P, is back in the spotlight, but what exactly is happening this time? Let's take a look at the latest twist in the P-Square story. But before we digest this with Shadrach, take a look at the video.
P-Square breakup was on the 22nd September. Within that period, because there was an open, I sent out an open letter for the breakup that time, 2017. But something happened July. On the 16th of July or 26th of July, I'll put it up there. You see where an individual paid money within 2-3 days. The person paid about $25,000 something dollars. It's an aggregator, they pay for more like royalties. In 3-4 days' time, 2 individuals split that money into 2. Who are those? Look at it there.
Okay, so this is the P-Square saga we are going to digest here. Mr. Shadrach was saying something about one song.
Okay,
Sing
so
it,
before that, it's the person that is giving us this episode,
Yes,
Mr. P.
yes.
It's actually a season. It's a season film right now.
Okay.
They are selling the CDs in Maraba.
Okay.
Yeah, so I bought one. I was streaming eventually, but I don't know how some people managed to get part 8 before Mr. P released the part 8.
Yes.
Right, but like I said, I was able to buy it in traffic and I watched through it.
Okay.
The opening thing is a dance. So can I show you? Should I
Okay, yeah,
show
show
you
me,
the
show me.
dance?
I
So,
need to see.
I can't look away.
Okay.
I can't look
Okay,
away.
wait. Okay. Hey.
All right,
Okay.
so Mr. P,
Yes.
the Okoye's saga right now,
Mm.
it's a handful, right?
Mm.
And it's bad when things like this are happening within families, right? Blood families.
Mm.
And again, if you look at the whole thing, we are not able to hear everybody in detail.
Mm. That's right.
Mr. P has released the season for us, right? We were hoping that we'd get a
More.
continuation from. I mean, by the way, Mr. P is a very great storyteller. I love how he tells you with the emotions. He cries when there is need to cry. Great, solid. Do you understand?
Yes.
Unlike his brothers who are just angry
Yes.
and responding to it. But to look at it in depth, right? I think something is wrong, and this family, these 3 brothers, need to go back to the drawing board and heal.
But the whole point is, if you ask me, I think I will tell you the whole story of Peter and his brother. I feel like this is a family issue. So why bringing it to social media, right? Honestly, it's a family issue whereby I think when it comes to this kind of situation, like you guys can solve this in your parlor, sitting down, or your dining table. You can sort yourself instead of just coming to the story. But the whole point was, when everything started, Peter was actually not saying anything at first. He kept... Jude was coming out saying his own part of the story. Paul was coming saying. So I think Peter was actually fed up, and he feels like it was time for me to come and talk my own side of the story. But what do you think about the whole shenanigans?
There's a saying that if you stand before a sword man, draw a sword, right?
Okay.
Don't come and be doing spoken words before a sword man. Right? So if Peter was doing spoken words before and his brothers were drawing their swords, I think right now he also chose to draw his sword, right? And let's let the best win. However, this is a family feud again. If we go back, right, other members of these families have been the ones coming up on social media, bringing this thing to social media. The elder brother Jude would also come to social media, and there are public faces, so people are interested to know what is happening. Do you understand? I grew up in the P Square era. I used to practice breakdance to courtesy of P Square and Michael Jackson, right? So these are people that, if they are not going to be together, the public wants to know what happened.
What happened?
Do you understand? Now, if you listen to Mr. P's story, he's emphasizing that, can we come back as brothers? Let P Square be. Can we come back as Jude, Paul, Peter, Okoye? Do you understand?
Yes.
If these three people are functional as a family, P Square can be resolved in any way.
That's
right?
true.
But from his side of the story, it looks as though the brothers are more interested in having P Square back than in having the family back. And right now, I feel as though they are the point, or they've gone beyond the point of return. I feel so.
Yes.
Because now they have children that have grown and are adults. So here Mr. P saying that when his son was born, Jude, the other brother, picked up the baby's picture and said some hurtful things and called the child bastard and all of those things. If I hear that my uncle said all of those things,
that's another.
That uncle should not born children. Do you understand? So, in all of these things, right? For me, I think this thing can no longer go off social media. It is too late. Now that it is here, right?
Yes.
The social media justice system would have to look at it severely.
So the social media are the detectives of P Square case.
Yeah. I'm a lawyer in that case.
Oh, okay.
Do you understand?
Tell us more.
I'm so much interested in that case because Mr. P or Peter is giving us a very comprehensive breakdown of what happened.
Yes.
Paul, on the other side, is coming out to defend himself. Jude is also coming out to defend himself. And in these defensive statements they are making, or in the process of trying to defend themselves, they are saying certain things that are beginning to flaw and give credit to what Mr. P is saying. For instance, Jude said, because of what Peter saw that Paul is going up and Peter is coming down, and that's why he wants to cause chaos and let everybody calm down. Is that really the case? Do you understand? Why do you say one person is going? So for Jude to say Paul was going up, Paul is going up, and Peter is coming down, it then means he has interest in the person he's saying the person is going up. Do you understand?
Yes, I'm getting it.
With that, there are other sides to it that they are not saying. I only wish they can say more, but because the case is in another court, that is not the social media court, and we don't have the rights, or they cannot say things that are currently on trial and all of that. So they are making us not to have enough evidence to pass judgment on this, because like I said, I'm a very strong lawyer in this case.
Yes. And I think another thing is, finally, before we go, is the fact that there's someone amongst them who is not showing in the court all the time, anytime they're having sittings. So I want to understand, is it that they don't want to end the whole story or everything? So in one sentence, just, tell us.
Okay, so I think the person you're talking about is showing up in court, because from some of the audio recordings and other witnesses, people who were in those courts mentioned, they said he came to court.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And that's a wrap on Top Trends, where we bring you the stories making waves online, and of course, digest them beyond the headlines. Thank you for staying with us and sharing your thoughts